Hi everybody! Welcome back to our Fragrance Hub. And for this mini-series, I decided na I don't want to discuss things. Masyado na kasing maraming info ang binigay ko in the past videos. So instead, I will be sharing with you some of the bottles in my collection that are clones of popular brands or popular fragrances or even expensive ones, so that you can check them out and then see if it's also for you. Hi everybody, Donald here again from Iloilo, and I am here in our Fragrance Hub. This is part 1 of the 2-part mini-series that I've created that will be discussing about clones. But before we proceed, shout out sa isa sa mga barkada ko noon sa call center, kay Alan Reyes. Thank you so much for subscribing and following this passion of mine. Because my aim is to help you find the right fragrance for you. For this video, tutulungan ako ng aking 4 na warriors in figuring out alin dito yung sa tingin mong pwede mong itry. Let me start off by telling you that almost half of my collection are actually clones or inspired by. Bakit ako bumibili ng clones? Kasi hindi naman sila peke. They are heavily inspired by popular brands and most of the time, the expensive ones. And they have a good interpretation of the original bottles that they're getting their inspiration from. What we will do in this video is I'm going to show you the bottle and then we'll try to compare how close it is from the original. Kasi karamihan naman sa mga pinagkopyahan ng mga clones na to, naamoy ko na either through decant or I went to the mall and then smelled it. And these are only based on my experience because each of us have our own unique sense of smell. So if you disagree with my comment, then let's agree to disagree. Okay lang? Alright, so let's begin. So the first pair that we're going to talk about is from Armaf. And this one is called Smoky Oud. Smoky Oud is a clone of Tom Ford's Tobacco Oud. Ang masasabi ko lang dito, this is definitely something that you can wear in the nighttime, but this is something that you will not wear if it's high heat. And if you're okay around cigarettes and tobacco, you would find it not annoying, but for those who are non-smokers, this is something that you should avoid. I would say yung similarity ng Smoky Oud at ng Tom Ford is not that close, kasi mas natural smelling talaga yung mga original bottles than the clones. It's around 80% pagdating sa similarity nila. Next one that I have here is the Woody Oud. At makikita nyo, sa dami kasi ng nasa collection ko, hindi ko nasusuot lahat. Pero makikita nyo, bawas na siya. Because I like wearing this in formal occasions. This is very similar to Tom Ford's Oud Wood. So, naamoy ko na yung Oud Wood kasi yung pinsan ko, si Jaira, hi Jai, meron siyang Oud Wood at nung inamoy ko yon, tapos naamoy ko to, nakita ko talaga yung similarity nila. This is inexpensive, so you can just spray it sabihin natin, every 6 hours kasi ganun yung longevity niya. Pero if you spray it on your shirt, not on your skin, then it would last longer. I would say ang similarity ng Woody Oud sa Oud Wood, it's around 85 to 90%. So for a fraction of the price, if you can get this, rather than the Tom Ford Oud Wood, which is more than 10,000 pesos, I would say this is a good grab. Tabi muna natin si Roja. Alright, so isunod natin itong Cuba Prestige Classic. This one is very similar to Thierry Mugler's Amen, na fortunately, meron ako. This is the original bottle and this is the clone. And some YouTubers even say that they will not be purchasing the original as long as the clone is being produced. Ganon sila ka-close. About 90 to 95% yung similarity. Pero ako, I'm gonna hold on to my original bottle. May mga, sabihin mo ng 5% man yung difference nila. Nothing beats the original, but it's not all the time. There are some cases the clones are actually better than the original, and we'll get to that later on. The next clone house we're going to talk about is called Rasasi. And the first fragrance that I have is the Hawas. Pag binaliktad mo, sawa. This one is very similar to Paco Rabanne's Invictus Aqua. For me, this lasts longer and at the same time, hindi man siya ganun ka-cheap. Yung amoy naman niya kasi parang expensive perfume talaga. I would say ang similarity nila ng Invictus Aqua, which is naamoy ko na, is about 85 to 90%, but I would still prefer the clone rather than the original. Next is yung Rasasi Yuqawam for Homme. This is Yuqawam for Homme. And this is a good clone of Tom Ford's Tuscan leather. Alam nyo, nung una ko tong naamoy, alam ko na agad. Pagkaamoy ko pa lang, Tom Ford na agad, which I love by the way, but it's too expensive for me to buy. For some reason, pag pinaamoy ko to sa babae, ayaw nila. So this is kind of my personal scent, and I love wearing it in formal occasions. If I want to make a statement and I'm wearing a suit or I'm wearing something formal and I want people to have just some whiffs, this is not something that you overspray kasi matapang siya. Pag uminit na yung panahon, talagang sisingaw yung amoy niya. I would definitely recommend to men na at least maamoy nyo man lang siya. The closeness of this to Tom Ford's Tuscan leather is around 95% plus. It has been praised in the fragrance community as one of the closest to Tom Ford's Tuscan leather. So next naman natin, the fragrance house called Luxodor. So pag-usapan muna natin yung unang bottle, which is called Maharlika. This is the clone of Roja Dove's Elysium. I would say ang similarity nito sa Roja Dove's Elysium is 80 to 85%. Kasi talagang high class na itong Roja Dove, and that has more naturals than the synthetics that you can find from Luxodors. Next is we're going to talk about Loyal Agar. So Loyal Agar is the clone of Perfumes de Marly's Layton. I would suggest that you only wear this not in a closed environment, but in a wide space, maglalakad ka sa mall na control yung temperature. I would say the similarity of this, the Perfumes de Marly's Layton, is around 80 to 85%. Syempre, mas maraming naturals yon. And ito kasi, para siyang merong buhangin pag inamoy mo, medyo makati sa ilong kapag inamoy mo ng malapitan. But in air, mabango siya. Wag mo lang talagang isusuot ito in high heat kasi malakas yung projection, baka malason yung mga katabi mo. So just be careful if this is something that you would be purchasing. The next house we're going to talk about is a pretty big one, and it's called Armaf. And the first one is the pride of Armaf, which is something I've worn so many times and I brought with me in many of my travels. And this one is very, very similar to Dior's Sauvage. This is a mass pleaser. A lot of people like the scent profile. Ang gusto ko dito, it's just a fraction of the price. And when I smelled yung Dior Sauvage ng pinsan ko, meron siyang content na hindi ko gusto. Pero dito, parang subtle lang siya. Parang tinone down. Ang similarity nung dalawang to, I would say, it's about 85%. So if you're a beginner in your fragrance journey and you've smelled Sauvage, I would recommend, kung nagtitipid ka, start with the Pride of Armaf. Kasi yung price niya, tsaka yung scent profile talagang malapit. The next one is called Futura L'Homme. Ito, nung naamoy to ni Mama, gustong gusto niya. This is very reminiscent of Dior Homme, hindi yung current version, but the previous one that had iris in it. Kasi yung iris, medyo makeup yan. Kaya when women smell this, it's a bit familiar to them. That's why they're attracted to the smell. So if you want to make a good first impression to someone that you will have a date with, I would suggest you wear this. This one is, I would say, again, 80 to 85% close to Dior Homme. Yung lumang batch, but it's very pleasing, it's sweet, and for women, they dig this. Alright, next up is Armaf's Nuit, and this is very reminiscent of Craze's Green Irish Tweed, which a lot of people love, and I have smelled the original sa Makati, and I would say the similarity is around 90 to 95%. If I will be asked if I would be buying Nuit or Green Irish Tweed, if I have the money, I would pick Nuit and then buy some other fragrance. Kasi malapit talaga yung scent profile nila. And this is something that I would wear early in the morning if I live in a city, kung kunyari may condo ka, and in the morning you want to smell something refreshing that would remind you of trees and grass. This is something that you would like in your collection. The next one is called Armaf's Craze. And what I love about this is it's very similar to Perfumes de Marley's Pegasus. If I would be describing this to you, ganito lang siya kasimple. Bumili ka ng Sarsi, tapos ginawa mong pabango. Ganun siya ka-unique. Medyo addicting nga yung amoy niya. And this is something of a signature-worthy perfume for me. The similarity of both, I would say, is again at 90%. With Perfumes de Marley's winning with the naturals, and this one just winning because of the value. Alright, so we go to the big boy of Armaf. It's called Club de Nuit Intense Man. It's the Eau de Parfum kasi meron siyang EDT at meron ding limited edition nito. This is a mass-pleasing scent. The reason being, ang kinuklone kasi nito, Craze Aventus. Ang standout talaga dito is yung amoy ng pineapple. Even if you wear it at night or at day, it works. That's why I have it in 200 ml because I like wearing a lot of this. Kung gusto mo lang pasayahin yung mga tao sa paligid mo at magustuhan nila yung amoy mo, yung scent trail mo, and yung scent bubble mo, I would suggest you test Club de Nuit Intense Man. This one is 90 to 95% close to Craze Aventus. So the next one is called Club de Nuit Sillage. This is very close to the popular house Creed and their fragrance, which is called Silver Mountain Water. When you smell this, it will remind you of a flowing river for some reason. Very cool, and you can wear this any time of the day, may it be in the daytime in high heat, or you can also use it in a warm night. Kung medyo mainit sa lugar nyo and you want to smell something refreshing, this is something that you would want. Similarity to Creed Silver Mountain Water, I would say, is 90% and above. So mapapansin nyo, ang Armaf, magaling talaga siyang clone house, and that's why a lot of people praise this brand. When Armaf creates good clones, they're really good. If they create bad clones, they're really bad, or hit or miss yung brand na ito. The next one that we're going to talk about, it's called Club de Nuit Milestone, and this one is the clone of Creed's Elysium Imperial. Some of the YouTubers who had the privilege of smelling the original one or owning the original Elysium Imperial says that this smells more like the Creed than Creed itself. This is one of the most sought after fragrances from Armaf that maintained the originality of Creed's fragrance. The similarity here is 90% and above. So this is something that you could wear in a controlled space. This is office safe, and it will not choke out your office mates as long as you don't overspray. The next batch we will be discussing is from Amazing Creation. The first one is called Amber Vanilla. This is a clone of By Kilian's Angel Share. And I had the privilege to smell the original By Kilian's Angel Share. And if I were to choose between the two, parang mas gusto ko yung clone. Natatapangan ako masyado dun sa Angel Share at parang amoy na amoy mo yung cognac or yung whiskey. Pero dito medyo toned down. And that may be affected by me not being a drinker. But if you are someone who likes to drink, you'll definitely enjoy this. Next one is Amazing Creations Fahrenheit. Pero bago ko i-discuss yan, ipakita ko din na meron akong Dior Fahrenheit na decan. And the Dior Fahrenheit right now does not smell like the Fahrenheit that I used to know na sinusuot ng papa ko. This is closer. So I couldn't really compare the two. And if I were to choose, I would definitely choose the clone. So if you are used to the old batch, no-brainer, mas kukuhanin mo itong clone kaysa dun sa bagong nilabas na formulation ng Dior. Ang similarity nila with the newer version is of course malayo, pero this one to the old formulation is 85 to 90%. So I'm pretty happy with the clone that I have. Next one is called Black Phantom, and this is very similar to By Kilian's Black Phantom. And when I smell it, nag-stand out yung chocolate tsaka yung coffee combination. But when you spray it the first time, maaamoy mo yung parang may pagka-angel share, meaning para siyang may cognac or may whiskey muna. And then, pag tumagal na siya ng onte, it turns to this dark chocolate sweet scent, which is pleasing only if you're in a cold environment. I would say that this is something that you can use in countries na may winter time. Pero dito sa Pilipinas, medyo mapili kung saan mo to pwedeng isuot. But I would say this is definitely a head turner if someone smells this and they know much about perfumery. This is something that is worth in my collection. Alright, so that concludes part 1 of our mini-series about our clone journey, and I hope this was helpful to you. Please do share this with your friends so that they can also be guided sa mga pabango na pwede nilang bilhin in replacement of more expensive or popular fragrances na medyo out of budget. I hope you're looking forward to the next part. Thank you so much for watching and keep safe. God bless you.